Waterwave TV, DJ can't bet he shit here. Waterwave TV, man, y'all see what the fuck going on? We trying to up this bitch. Shout out Waterwave TV. Waterwave TV. Waterwave up in this bitch. Man, shout out to Waterwave. We do this shit all the time, bro.
Waterwave in this bitch.
Yes,
AC
sir.
in this bitch. You know the fucking vibes, man. Waterwave, you know what it is.
Hey, big Waterwave. Big Waterwave. Waterwave.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the newest episode of Waterwave TV interviews. Today we got DJ Mad Mardigan in the building.
Hello.
The official Timberwolves and Lynx DJ.
That's right.
But
What's up, Ricky?
But he's much more than that. What's up? How you doing?
Good, man. Good to finally meet you.
Yeah, good to meet you too. But you're not just the Timberwolves and Lynx DJ. You got a lot more that people need to know about. So that's what we're here today for. But today happened to be opening day for the T-Wolves. How'd it feel to get back in routine again? Like, I know last season was, or past couple seasons, really, season and a half, it was different because of COVID. So,
yeah, last season was really weird. We didn't have fans for, I want to say, 3/4 of the season.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we did, it was, a little bit limited. So tonight was, energy was up.
Mm-hmm.
And we dominated on the court, too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it just goes to show, how dope our team is this year. But when the energy is that way and then we feed off that energy and it translates into my DJing, it's just like this revolving circle of high positive energy. It can translate to some wins.
Mm-hmm. I feel like, yeah, the DJ definitely could help players stay in the zone or whatever, you know what I mean? Definitely help them catch their vibe.
Yep.
But before we get too deep into that, I want to learn how you kind of got into music. Like, what age were you when you really found an interest in music, I guess?
Man. I mean, I played the French horn in like middle school, and I remember just liking just being a part of like a musical arrangement. I just thought that was dope. Like, I have my little pocket with the French horn, and everyone has their role. But it wasn't until I started listening to hip hop, like in 6th, 7th grade, where I just became obsessed with hip hop in general. But it then later evolved into multiple genres. I'm pretty much a fan of any genre with the exception of some like country, but love classical, jazz. I took some jazz classes in college. I just love that. I love the improvisation of jazz because it's a lot like scratching, DJ scratching. But yeah, once I started hearing that, and I'm a child of the 90s, so this is when I was in 7th grade. That was 1993. So, which to me, 1994 is probably one of the dopest years for hip hop. So many dope albums came out that year. But like back then, you had a DJ as a part of most rap crews and rappers. They were a big part of just the elements of hip hop. And so you'd hear the scratching in these songs, and I was always just like intrigued by like, what the hell, what is that? Like, what are they doing? How are they doing that? And then it wasn't until I saw Juice, the movie Juice with Tupac. Omar Epps plays DJ GQ, and he's scratching, and I could see it then, and visualize like, oh, okay.
That's what that noise is.
Yeah, now I see how that's happening, and like that movie, I actually just rewatched it, I think about a week ago, and it was definitely worth the rewatch because I hadn't seen it in many years, but that movie set it off for me. I knew at that point, like, I want to scratch records, like. So
was Tupac like your favorite artist in that generation, or who were you listening to most?
Yeah, one of them, just his lyricism, and I like West Coast hip hop, but my heart is like East Coast and Midwest, but like grimy, dirty street rap is my main love. But yeah, so I mean, in that time period, you had, and years leading after that, but of course WuTang Clan, like RZA's beats were inspiring to me big time. That's just the vibe and sound that I still really like. And if you're at a Timberwolves game, you'll hear me play some WuTang, you'll hear me play Gangstar, you hear me play, Tribe Called Quest, and yeah, a lot of East Coast stuff.
Dope. When do you remember the first time you ever got booked for a DJ gig?
Yeah. Booked.
Or asked to play music at an event? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that would have been New Year's Eve, 1999.
Okay.
So I'd bought my first turntable like a month before that.
Mm-hmm.
I'd saved up all summer, and I had enough money to buy one turntable, and that was my freshman year of college at Winona State University. Shout out to Winona State and Winona. It's a dope city.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I bought one turntable, so I had like this Onkyo home receiver and some, I loved home audio speakers, and I had a sub and everything when I was in high school. So I plugged in that turntable into like that receiver. So I didn't have like a mixer or anything. I just had one turntable, and it was a really crappy turntable.
Mm-hmm.
Just skipped like crazy. So like I sounded like crap, because I didn't know what I was doing, but like also the equipment is important. So, but I finally could do it. I was like, I got a turntable. I can scratch now. And
so was this like a college party, or is this just like a kickback?
Oh, yes.
Or like what kind of event was it? You said you were a freshman in college, so what kind of...
Right. Yeah, so it was a New Year's Eve party for my best friend, Steve Poljak. His dad had this mansion out in West Bloomington, and he was out of town, and he had just bought these like definitive tower speakers, which is like some really audiophile home audio. And they just were banging, and like, had the, I think at that time, I did have a second turntable by then. So did my first party, and it was for like 10 people.
Right. Oh. So it wasn't too nervous. I guess you could see the feedback pretty easily. I guess if there was only 10 of them.
Well, and I only had like 20 records or something, so I was like, here's what I got.
Yeah.
But I had like a Discman that I plugged into my mixer.
Mm-hmm.
So I could play like CDs. I just couldn't change the tempo. I couldn't mix them or anything, but I wasn't really mixing back.
Play the music at least.
Yeah, and the big song was "Back That Ass Up" by Juvenile. So had to play that like 3 times.
Had to just run it back like, it's not midnight yet. We have to run it one more time.
It's a fun song to mix too, because that bass line intro you can mix real well with any kind of drum pattern as long as it's the same tempo.
Going through college, did you DJ multiple more times, like at college parties, or for your friends' concerts or weddings or stuff like that, going through college at all?
My main focus was DJ battles.
Okay.
I didn't really have any interest in DJing at a club or a wedding or a sporting event. I didn't even think that was a thing. It really wasn't a thing then. But I wanted to do DJ battles, so I became mad obsessed with all the turntable. It was a huge turntablism renaissance in those days with the Invisible Scratch Pickles and the Beat Junkies. And the Executioners from New York with Rock Rada. And so there was these DJ battles like the DMCs, ITF, and like Guitar Center. So YouTube wasn't a thing yet, but you could see these videos online and like DJ forums and stuff, and I would watch those over and over and over. And so that's what I wanted to do.
So you kind of fell in love with the art of DJing per se, like who could DJ the best.
Yeah, like on some turntablism, scratching, beat juggling.
That's cool.
And so I would just prepare for battles, and there wasn't a lot of them in Minneapolis at the time, but there was definitely like a battle season that was kind of like in the summer. And so me and all the other DJs would spend months on these like 6-minute, 5-minute, 3-minute, whatever the battle was, routines, months on like 6 minutes, And then that just became my obsession, was like preparing for these battles.
So did any of the battles ever lead to people asking you, like, if you do events or anything like that, like to where you ended up just being like, all right, I'm gonna start doing it because there's money for it? Like, this is the real question, when did you really start getting booked for events? You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah,
like you knew it was a reality, like, dang, I could make a living off this.
Yeah, it took a long time. So only did battles through college, did a couple parties here and there, but I don't think I ever DJ'd at a club or anything like that, just house parties, and then got out of college, and like most of my college friends, I had to get a real job, and I ended up starting to sell insurance. Like, that was my job. And it was super whack. And my brother Elliot, who was like my best friend, he's 3 years younger than me, he went to all my battles. Was a super fan of me as a DJ, and he's always like, you need to be a DJ, bro. You need to be a DJ. What are you doing selling insurance? I'm like, what? How do you just be a DJ? I don't know even how to do that. So in December of 2004, he was in a car accident and passed away. And 9 months after that, I quit my job and became a full-time DJ. Because I was living with my mom, so I had minimal expenses. I moved back home with my mom to be with my mom and my sister. And so I could just make that leap financially. And I had like one gig every 2 weeks at Tiffany's Sports Lounge in St. Paul, Tiff's they call it. And it was like a Thirsty Thursday thing, and that was like my first residency. And they just loved me, and then eventually it was every week, and I just started getting more gigs from there. But my big takeaway is, had my brother not passed away, I probably wouldn't be sitting here talking to you. I probably wouldn't be the Timberwolves DJ. I just probably would have stayed on that lane, and just kept doing what people do, climb the ladder, sell more insurance, and start a family and whatever. So I really do owe it to him in a way that this career now that I have, I don't think would be possible had he not passed away.
That was like the turning point in your career, make you go harder type of moment. You really let's chase this dream. You don't know how long you have in this world. You want to make the most of it. Type of feel when it came to happen.
Exactly.
And then I know you have a kid. You have a kid, multiple kids.
I got 3 kids.
Okay, 3 kids. And I know you mentioned that was probably also I need to go harder moment, or you're gonna put the gas on the pedal to show them what you can be and what they can be. Be a good role model for them. Was that another the second maybe moment where it's time to go up another notch and how serious I take this?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, the birth of my first son, Henry, he's 11 now. He was born in 2010. And 3 months after that event, I started Generation Now Entertainment, which is my DJ company that I own and operate. But it was a similar thing where I had built up my career. I had the Timberwolves thing had started. I was DJing in nightclubs 4 nights a week, but then I had Henry, and next thing you know, I'm a dad getting up at 6 a.m, changing diapers, and doing it. And I was like, dang, this is hard, because I was at the club till 2 a.m. And I knew I had to make a change. And so I had this idea in my head of this DJ company that was formed of DJs like me, turntable, nightclub style DJs that can mix, that can read a crowd and kill it, and do weddings though. Take those DJs and put them into situations like weddings, corporate events, school events, where you normally didn't see that, because at the time I didn't know any of my dope DJ friends really weren't doing weddings until, I was like, hey, we should change this game up, because people are booking these DJs for weddings, and they got the venue till midnight, and people are gone by 10. There's no, there's no energy. The dance floor is nothing. They're not mixing tracks together. So there's, we've all been to a wedding like that, right? Where you're just pulling nails on the chalkboard kind of thing. So the birth of my son Henry definitely inspired me to then start my company.
So what, I guess you kind of explained Generation Now. It's like a collective, or is it almost like a label type of thing where you help people get gigs, or what? How does that pipeline type of work?
Dang, collective is actually a great word. We usually use team, but collective is also true. Yeah, so we have 25 DJs now, and everyone's got, pretty much everyone is a full-time DJ entertainer on our squad. So people that are doing this for real. And, it just started with a couple DJs, myself, one of my best friends, Ryan Kulka, DJ Velvet, who has actually since retired doing weddings, but it was kind of our idea to really put some money into the gear and start putting money into marketing and do wedding fairs and stuff like that.
So they could book you with the full package. Hey, I don't have speakers, I don't have none of this cords, none of that stuff, but they can get it all from you.
So all of our pretty much all of our events, our DJs, all that they're responsible for is whatever they use to DJ with, their turntables and a mixer, or a controller, or CDJs, whatever they want to use to kill it the hardest. That's what we want them to use, but then apply turntablism and nightclub style mixing into their sets.
That's dope.
Yeah.
I like that type of thing, because that's kind of what we were trying to do with Waterwave. Just have a group of guys that all have a vision of wanting to, make music, make videos, promote, do artwork, and then you can almost book the whole package in one, and we can come give you a good show. So it's
Yeah.
pretty similar, not exactly the same, but like I see exactly where you're coming from, and I think that's a great alley to step in.
Yeah, and then we have MCs too, not just DJs. So like both John Barry and Katie Andres, the two in-arena hosts for the Timberwolves, are on our team.
Cool.
So that was one thing I really wanted to do. Is same thing with the DJs, is take dope MCs that can know how to get on the mic and not be cheesy and really rock a crowd, and like know DJing too, to like know the timing of things and know when to like do a 1, 2, 3 or something like that. And so yeah, it's dope to have packages where the client books both a Generation Now DJ and an MC, so we can really tear it up.
So we'll have to take a step back a little bit from around 2011, from what we were talking about when you started Generation Now. Today was the opening day of the Timberwolves, which is your 14th season. This will be your 14th season.
Yep.
So what year is that then? If you gotta do math, what year did you start? That's 2008, 7, 2007, 2008.
2008 was the first. Yeah. Pretty sure.
Yeah, because we're going into 2022, so yeah, it'll be 2008 would have been the year. How did you get approached for the Timberwolves job? Did you have to apply for it? Was it like, I guess, how did you get connected with that? Because I mean, it's still like it's only going to be one person that's going to be the official DJ. You know, you got to pick someone out of like the tens of thousands of DJs there is.
Crazy, dude. Yeah. No, I still can't believe it. Honestly, there's so many dope DJs in Minneapolis, Minnesota, Twin Cities. I mean, even when I was walking into the Target Center today on my Instagram story, just talking, I got a little bit of emotional, like walking through the tunnel and like, man, this is my 14th year doing this and feeling this, like excitement of like home opener and nervousness. I still get mad nervous for every gig pretty much. I get super nervous. Just I want everything to go well technically, and then I want to be on my A game and stuff. So I take it mad serious, but the people that run like the in-game entertainment back in 2008 would come to this club called the Imperial Room, where I was the like lead DJ, entertainment manager, but I was DJing there like 3 nights a week. You know about that place? You heard of it? Okay, because they're not open anymore, but the sign is still out. So they're on First Avenue and 5th. Okay. So like right across the street from it was Aqua. What is it now? It's huge club. But that's where we were, and we did this industry night on Tuesdays, which was cool because most industry nights were like on a Sunday or something, and we were like, we want to change the game because the industry nights were so poppin' that like industry people had to still work on industry nights. So we're like, let's do a real industry night on Tuesdays when no one else is doing it. And the guys that ran the entertainment would come in there, and I didn't know who they were, I just knew them as Chad and Aaron and everyone that would come in and just get down on a Tuesday, because we had a lot of Tuesday night games back then for the Timberwolves. So they would come right after a game, boom, and then they liked that I would go from genre to genre and really do a true open format type of set. And Chad, who was running all the game entertainment back then, that's what he wanted. He wanted to, because there was no DJ prior to me coming into the Timberwolves, and they're like, yeah, we want someone to just rock it as a turntable style DJ, but like go from rock to hip hop to new top 40 song into an EDM remix, And they approached me and said, is this something you'd be interested in? And I was like, hell yeah, dude. Yeah. Are you kidding me? Like,
been waiting for that
what?
opportunity.
What are you talking about?
So like before then, they just had like the sound guy that would just play like the I don't know, just like the random music at timeouts or whatever, and like the defense chants and the get your hands in the air, let's make some noise or something, like that type. They didn't really have like the actual like let's play music and get the crowd hyped and the players hyped and stuff. Exactly.
Well, we call it a music director. And there still is a music director for every sport, every team. And so it was crazy because that music director, who is now on our team on Generation Now, his name's Tim Miller, and he still is a music director for the Timberwolves, and he's the music director for the Minnesota Twins. So pretty much all the music at both of those sporting arenas, stadiums, are coming from him. So he was the music director then, and so he was doing a lot of that in-game music and stuff, and he was a little bit, I don't know, how I should say it, but he was a little just like, yo, what? Why are you adding a DJ? I'm the DJ, you know, I'm the music. And he didn't know who I was. But it turned out we know each other since like 9th grade or something. We went to high school together, graduated from Bloomington Jefferson together, same year and everything. And so they introduced us at the Kanye West show that was at the Target Center. And I guess like people were mad nervous, like introducing us, like, all right, well, we're going to introduce the new DJ to the music director, you know, see how it goes. And like I made eye contact with him and he saw me and I'm like, whoa, Tim. He's like, yo, Nick. And it was just dope. Like, all right, let's do this, man. Let's do this together and like be a team on this. And we've been doing it now 14 years together.
That's dope. Seems like it was just all meant to be. It kind of seems like it came together. Do you have like your game day routine that you kind of got to go back into today? Like obviously you said you had the jitters, the nerves, but like do you have like a wake up at 5 a.m., crack my egg, raw egg smoothie in the morning, you know, 3 o'clock, and then I'm doing this, blah, 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 blah. Like do you have like that type of stuff you do on game days or?
I don't know about crack. I did actually crack some eggs this morning. Now that I think about it, I make these bomb omelets with 3 kinds of cheeses, but I do it real thin. Yeah. You know, so like they're like layers. Mm-hmm. I don't know, man. It's been glorious. But yeah, breakfast is important. Make sure you eat your breakfast. It is a very important meal. I like to start my day with some calories. But yeah, I'm constantly thinking about it. And so to how I prepare, I guess, throughout the week and just generally just every day, I'm listening to music in the car, at home, on my computer, whatever, any chance I can. And so then I use Shazam a lot, and I use screenshots a lot, and I use Apple Music ads and stuff. So YouTube screenshots, you know, just I don't want to forget. So
but you hear a song, you're like, I want to play at the game. So
yeah, I'll hear a song and I'll be like, this sounds like it could be played inside Target Center. Yeah. Yeah, it'll just be like a feeling, like it'll just hit me like, yes, this definitely will work. Yeah. You know, and it doesn't have to be any particular genre. It could be any genre of music. It could be some rock song, or it could be a new rap song. And so, yeah, like I said, I'll screenshot or however, I'll get it. And then when I go to start preparing, whip out the laptop, take out my phone, and start going through all those Shazams, all those screenshots, all those Apple Music ads and whatnot. And just start downloading them. Clean versions, of course. Yeah. I pretty much only download clean versions because the majority of my events are where I really can't play dirty songs. Like, how whack would it be if you heard an F-bomb or something at Target Center in the middle of a set? Like, that would be possibly career ending, you know? Mm-hmm. So I got to be real careful. I mean, even songs that are clean, I still got to clean up a little bit because they might say a word like, I don't know, sex or lean or Percocets or
like a gun reference.
Yeah, kill or something. So I'll then go into my computer and cue point that and then label the cue point like whatever word it is so that when I'm playing and I see, I can quickly like do a filter.
It's coming up, you can skip right past it, turn it down a little bit, do something.
Yeah, do like a high pass filter, just whoosh, you don't hear it, you know. But so I compile all that information and start downloading all the clean versions, and then I should I get this screen recording going now?
Yeah. All right. Yeah, because I know to operate a full game, there's a lot of stuff that goes on throughout a game. You know, like how we talked, like there's the halftime performance, and there's the pregame, and then there's the timeout during the timeouts, and then there's during whatever this and that. So I know you got to stay super organized on there.
Yep.
Do you also have to like filter through how player requests? Like the players request a lot of music, and does that kind of go into where they're supposed to be played at what times, or how does that work?
Yeah, the players. So I have some access to them through like their friends, through social media, direct messages and whatnot. And then I also DJ on the court before anyone comes into Target Center. I DJ for an hour just for our players, pretty much. And I have a request sheet out, which I've kept like all my request sheets throughout the years because it's dope. It's like that's Kevin Love's handwriting, requesting this Nas track, or he like Busta Rhymes. Here's D-Lo and new Gunna track that he wants to hear in his handwriting. So it is dope to have access to them like that. And then same thing. I got to find the clean version, and then boom, I make a folder in my computer. player requests or something like that, and then under there all the players' names. And so I can kind of like, if I see one of them warming up, I can be like, oh, Ant's out there right now. I got to play some Lil Baby because Lil Baby's his boy. He's ATL. And same thing with Cat, you know. So it's awesome, man. I've been doing that, I think now 6 or 7 years on the court like that before fans get there. And then I've also DJ'd practices too, which is at the Mayo Clinic courts, the practice courts, where there's no one other than coaches, players, and me. And it's a great opportunity to figure out what these guys are listening to, you know?
Yeah. I don't know if you want to walk us through kind of how a day in the life of maybe what you would have to do if you were running through a game.
Yeah, hang on. Let me make sure I'm doing this. Oh, it is still going.
We're trying to get super fancy over here.
Yeah,
at the
we're
Waterway
screen recording
Studios.
here.
We're screen recording. We're showing off stuff for all you visual listeners. I know most of our viewers watch the video anyways.
Okay, so I did do this right. Dope. Okay, cool. All right, so we're recording this screen right now, so we will layer this over. So up I have my Wolves 2021 to 2022. I make a crate or a folder. It's called a crate in Serato DJ, which is the program that I use for every event that I do, no matter what. Even if it's like a 1 hour kids dance or something, I make a folder for that. I throw tracks in, like those Shazams, those screenshots. I'll throw all those new downloads in, like I'll label it something like new ads or something like that. And then that's all done at home prior to getting to Target Center. And then boom, when I get to Target Center, I take out Serato DJ, open it up, and then so like for today, it's game 1. It's listed as game 1 under the 2021-2022 crate. So it's a subfolder, subcrate of the main crate. And then I have 3 main sets. At every game, I have the pregame set, which is right when our PA announcer announces the players that come on the court and everyone's cheering. Boom, I go into... That's when I start my pregame set. Okay. And then I have halftime, which is at the end of the halftime show. I come in until the third quarter starts. And then I have postgame. And then what we've been doing this last year is I'm DJing a lot of timeouts. So now I make a timeouts folder as well for that game. So once I make those crates and folders, then that's when I start like really listening to each track, because I need to figure out where the vocal is, where's the chorus, where's the hypest part of the track. Because when I'm DJing, I'm constantly looking at the timer on the big screen.
How much time left until timeout's done or until half's over?
Yep, exactly. Yep, and I'm on headset too. You know, so people are cueing me like, all right, Mars, you got 30 seconds left, and so if I need to get another track in, I'm like, okay, sweet. So I need to have those cue points set in each track. So I'll just pull one up here under. That's not good. All right, so here. Yeah, so this Television track by Pop Smoke featuring Kanye West and Pusha T. I think it's so dope. I have, so you get 8 cue points per track. So on this song, I'm using 7 of them. The first one is the very first beat. So this would be used for beat matching. The song I'm playing previous to this one, I would then start this because it's just the instrumental. You don't want to have 2 vocals going over each other when you're DJing. That's a huge no-no for DJs. You want to have, if you're starting to mix a new song in off the current song you're playing, you got to come in on the drums or the intro beats. And then the second cue point I usually have is where the vocal then comes in. So then I know when I'm looking at my screen, I know, vocal's coming up. I need to get out of the track that I'm currently playing. So I, mix that track out, and then the vocal comes in. So at this point, the song I was previously playing is done. I echoed out of it, or I did something to like gracefully transition into the new track. And then I like to cue point the chorus. So if I'm looking at the time and time's starting to run out, I don't want to waste time on like the verse, And if it's an EDM track, I will then mark it as a drop, as opposed to a chorus. So like, let's go to halftime here. Halftime, I'm playing more up-tempo stuff. right here. Yeah, so I'll mark it vocal. This is an EDM example now. So that's where the vocal comes in. There's a build right here, and then the vocal drop.
So you just play it with like how much time you have left, what you can fit in. Now you got all the points where you can mix it into, vocals fading away into the beat, into the vocals now hitting one. Yeah.
Yep.
That's smart. It's definitely because people just think, oh, you're just playing music or something, but they don't really get to see that's all that really goes on.
Definitely, man. Because, and the other thing too is I'm on camera. They're filming me, so I have to look like I'm doing stuff. How boring would it be if I'm just sitting there just with my headphones on, just doing nothing?
Like you just click play and all right, it's just gonna do my thing that I preset it to do or something.
Right. Yeah. So I'll have other cue points too, where it's like a good spot to scratch. So if I am on camera and then I'm on headset too, and they're letting me know, all right, Mards, they're going to you in 3, 2, 1, boom, and then I'm like, I gotta be doing something interesting.
Yeah.
So I can jump to that part of the track and then just start cutting it up. And my first few seasons, I always made the mistake of once I knew it was on camera, I'd be like looking up. So then you'd see me
yourself on camera.
It's really hard not to do, actually.
Yeah. I bet, because I would do this. I feel like I would do the same thing.
Yeah, it took me like 4 years to like not do it. Now I'm just like, all right, just focus, look like you're having a good time, play to the camera, do a Jersey pop or point at the camera, do something like that. And
that was the one thing when I first started vlogging, is you could see yourself. You could flip the camera up. You could see yourself to make sure it looks good. And you're looking at the screen, not the camera. So your eyes are up there, and it just. Yeah. So I guess I have kind of failed at that for a while, but I got used to it. I got better at it.
Just have confidence in you are on the screen. They told you you're going to be up there. You're up there. So just do your job.
The Wolves have not yet got to win a finals, but you have 4 rings with the Lynx. That's kind of dope. You're telling me that you were surprised that the DJ gets to get rings. How does it feel? I guess to have like 4 finals rings. I don't call it finals.
Championship rings.
Championship rings. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's. I don't even know. It's like a dream. It's like what? I mean, yeah. When they asked me in 2011 when we won our first championship, what my ring size was, I was like, I thought they were like pulling my leg, like joking with me. Like, what? Why? I didn't shoot a single basket. Like, why? Why do I get a ring? Like, well, you're part of the team, and you're on camera, and like. Yeah. All right, let's do it. And then, we won 4 world championships, which is just crazy, in a relatively short amount of time, from 2011 to, when was the 4th one? Yeah, I mean, just a short amount of years to just have a dynasty like that, like a true dynasty. And, I still can't believe it. And actually, I thought these got stolen last year because we moved into a new house, my wife and I. And I couldn't find my Lynx rings, dude.
Damn.
I was like distraught, you know what I'm saying? And we had just moved in, so like nothing was unpacked really. So like it did force me to kind of unpack and like get it going and get these boxes. But I went through every single box and I couldn't find my Lynx rings. And I finally gave up a little bit, like maybe, if I make a bunch of money or something, I can go and rebuy them perhaps or something like that, But my daughter Flora, who's 3, was like going into my like bottom drawer, and in there I had like random stuff like bow ties and like tie clips and like I don't know, suspender, like weird stuff, suspenders. Yeah. And there was this little wooden box that I got a watch, and there was like a watch box, and she like picked it up and just started shaking it, and for the moment I heard the sound of the shake, I'm like, yo, the rings. I'm like, Flora, yes.
Found them for you.
You found them, and popped it on. And then at that one, I'm like, yeah, dude, you put them in this wooden box when you moved to like keep them safe and like keep them like, yeah. And then it wasn't Lynx season, so I wasn't wearing the ring. So like months went by, I didn't even think about them. I'm not like wearing these around the house,
Yeah.
And so that was a glorious moment. It was perfect timing too because the season was about to start. The Lynx season was supposed to start.
Found them just in the nick of time.
Yeah.
I'll make sure I get a little separate angle so they can see what they all look like on the camera for real. I know the Timberwolves and Lynx DJ is obviously a major accomplishment, but what is like, I know like other big events you've done, favorite career highlights, stuff that you were like super proud of doing, stuff where you were like mind blown, like maybe meeting an idol or meeting someone that's like, holy crap, like that's you, like nice to meet you, like it's crazy.
Man, I guess the idol moment would be. So I DJ'd and opened for Dave Chappelle 5 times, and 4 of those 5 was at First Avenue in the main room on stage, like nuts.
Yeah.
And you know, we'd have a little bit of time in between shows, and so we'd be back in the First Avenue main room, green room, which was just a dream within itself. Like most DJs that I know, DJing in the main room at First Ave is like, that's a pinnacle type of achievement.
Especially
And
for like a big event like Dave Chappelle, you know, not just like local act or something, you know.
Right, yeah. So like it was just surreal, like being backstage with Dave, talking about music, you know, hanging out together. That was probably the most memorable. Because I mean, his music knowledge and love of hip hop runs deep, you know, just like me. So like it was nonstop conversation, joking around, and it was like me and him and his manager from time to time. But otherwise, just me and Dave Chappelle in the green room of First Avenue, getting ready for our shows and talking about music. And I had my computer open just like this. I was setting cue points, you know what I'm saying? I was showing him my process, and he's like, "Oh hell yeah, dude, that's dope. That's dope." So we definitely built a pretty sweet rapport. Cool. And then when the show was done, the second show, because there's 2 a night, when the second show was over, we went and would take over like a nightclub, and it'd be just him and his crew and, you know, just 20-30 people or something like that. And then I'm just DJing, just, you know, wiling out basically with Dave. And that dude maintains. I mean, he loves Red Bull vodka, or at least he did then. And it was just like boom, boom, one after another. But he was the same guy the entire time, just maintained and just killed it on stage. Like, you know, I mean, like he doesn't make mistakes. And then he gets up early as hell the next day, and that's when he's starting to get real buff. And he'd just be on his workout tip, you know. And then boom, we'd show up to First Ave for sound check again the next night. So yeah, that's definitely one of the most memorable, and like in terms of an idol, because, you know, I've been watching him since the beginning of YouTube, when the Charlie Murphy True Hollywood Stories were on, or I think it was on E-Bombs World actually. Oh yeah. E-Bombs World was like a precursor to YouTube. I feel like just laughing our asses off, and then hanging out with him was crazy. But you know, I did Super Bowl 52 at US Bank Stadium. I wasn't on stage like with Justin Timberlake, but I was in there doing it, and so, you know, that's pretty dope to say that. Like,
even just going to a Super Bowl, being able to be a part of the production, is even cooler. Remember one of my friends, he was a college football, or he played college football at Concordia St. Paul, and he got to work security for the Super Bowl, so we got a free ticket into the Super Bowl because they needed security guards. Or whatever. Got paid to be in the Super Bowl.
That's dope. That's dope. Yeah.
And you did a Final Four.
Yep. Did the Final Four. We took over Nicollet Mall and just had a huge stage out there. And the champs came down the final night. Like, we were all on stage together, and just crowd was just packed on the street. That was really dope, actually, just being outside. DJing outside is...
I'm a big fan of outside events.
Yeah, it's definitely hits different. And the energy was up, and I was just going from new stuff to old stuff, like true open format. That's when I'm like my happiest, I think, when I'm DJing, is just really having no boundaries with genres and just really reading the crowd, you know, because most crowds that I DJ in front of are mad diverse. The demographics are all over the place, you know, age, race, all that. So with that, you have way different musical tastes, and it's definitely like at the Target Center, you know. I mean, you have 85-year-old grandmas and grandpas going in there, and then you have, you know, kids that are just all about the new TikTok tracks. Yeah. So you got to kind of appeal to everybody.
That goes well with knowing multiple genres, though, which is why you got picked for the job.
Yeah. I love. That's my favorite type of DJing, and when I can flex my skills, you know, like I just love. To this day, scratching a record just makes me happy. I don't know. It's a musical instrument, man. The turntable. Like I firmly believe that. And when I was in college, actually, I wrote like an 8 or 9 page thesis on why it was a musical instrument for my music class.
Like why a DJ table, turntable?
Why and how a turntable is a musical instrument, because with your hand you can create different notes, and there's DJs that have made scratch notations so that they can actually write the notes out. It's much like a drum and percussion is how it looks, but I mean, you can take a trumpet sound, just one, and with the turntable and your hand movements and the pitch control on the turntable, you can create an entire trumpet line verse with it. So it was cool. I linked up with my jazz professor and I showed him what I do like in his office, and I just brought in my DJ stuff, and I'm like, I think this would be cool to like have, because he was a trumpet player. I'm like, I think it'd be dope if we got a drummer and I could like scratch these scratch samples, and then you and I can like do call and response like on the trumpet. So I could like take a scratch and go and he could get on the trumpet and be like and so we did that in front of the whole class. It was like 100 people up in there.
Damn.
And it's filmed on VHS tape because it was like year 2000.
Yeah.
And I know I got that somewhere. And like the moment I find that is going to be amazing, dude, because that was super fun. But the whole point was to show that the turntable is a musical instrument.
I got one of those moments too. When I was in 5th grade, I performed at the 5th grade talent show. They put me as the main act for the 5th grade talent show.
Damn.
I lip sing Justin Bieber. That was my talent. I was good at lip singing, so I had the long shaggy hair, flip your hair to the side or whatever. And this was in 5th grade, and I lip synced "Baby" by Justin Bieber. And my friend did the Ludacris part, and that was
okay.
But that was recorded, but I mean it's somewhere. I'm sure it's somewhere. I haven't watched it since probably 5th or 6th grade, but it's out there somewhere. And if I could find that, that'd be insane. Yeah,
that would set your Instagram on fire for a couple days.
That would be insane. But another thing I want to talk about is you've been working with local artists like Jay Plaza. You just debuted the I don't know the exact title of it.
Wolfpack,
the anthem for the Timberwolves, almost pregame anthem, hype song type of vibe. Like
I don't know what the official title would be, but it's something I've done a couple times now. I did one with Prof like many years ago. And it was the same thing. Like I was and I still am a super fan of Prof. And I just hit him up and said, hey, I'm the DJ for the Timberwolves. I want to make a track for when the players come out onto the court. And Willy Wonka made the beat, just epic. It was called Wolves United. Prof just murdered it and just took all my notes, like from tempo to here's all, kind of the samples that I prefer to use, like, here's some ideas as to what to talk about, in the rhymes, different stuff about Minnesota, different stuff about the team. And so I did the same thing with Jay Plaza because, again, I'm a super fan, like his freestyles, like his tracks. I just was like, this is perfect for an updated version of this Wolves song. So, that happened earlier this year, like in February, I think, is when we completed it. But sent him all my notes. I don't know who made the beat for Wolfpack, but
I was gonna ask, do you produce at all? Have you tried making beats?
A little bit. I'm more so making like edits in different, essentially stuff that I can use in my main gigs and Target Center stuff. Chopping songs down so that they're just more condensed and it gets to the bulk of the track, or putting some drums over a track that just needs a little bit more percussion, that kind of stuff. But eventually I would love to just be making music. That'd be awesome, man. Just be in the Rocky Mountains next to a creek in a self-sustaining community making beats and growing my own food. That's my retirement plan.
That's fine. You like grow your own food, like have your own garden and stuff like that? You want like to go grow your own food in the fact to like go vegan, or are you gonna like just to grow your own food, the fact to not have to buy your own
just be totally self-sustainable.
Okay.
Solar panels, rain catch on the roof that goes down into a filtration system.
Okay.
But maybe some goats, for some goat cheese. I don't think I could like kill animals. So I'd probably be a little bit vegetarian in that case, or maybe someone goes out and does all that for me. I don't know.
You just get it way more freshly, locally sourced from the local meat markets, rather than just like going and buying some Tyson chicken nuggets from Walmart or whatever.
Yeah.
I like that idea. I definitely want to live off my own land at some point.
Yeah.
Especially at the minimum, at least have my own garden to be able to have my own fruits and vegetables or whatever you can grow for whatever state you live in.
It's fun. It's even if it's not a huge like money saver. I mean, we have a small garden at our house, and like with kids too, it's just fun to show them like, here's how life happens. Like here's how plants are grown, and it's just fun to see the growth. And then next thing you know, there's a flower, and the next thing you know, there's a fruit. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's actually just really good to see that, because I mean, obviously, kids growing up, they're gonna know that fruit isn't just like grown in the grocery store, and it's not just like it's not just there, but it's like to actually physically see and learn how that works. It could carry a lot of weight, because one day you're gonna be like, where is my food coming from? Like is it coming from the garden? Is it where? It's definitely good to let them know that at a young age, and maybe pick a healthier route down the road. Maybe they're gonna want to continue to do it, at least just to show them, give them the option. Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, my big thing is just like understanding how lucky we are,
Yeah.
like to be in America where, you walk into a grocery store, and I'm not saying this is everyone. Obviously, there's a huge poverty problem in this country, like other countries, but I'm just saying me and my kids, like I like to just show them how lucky we really are. Like,
how accessible food is.
Could you imagine if you were from a third world country and you were to be immediately transported in your state, in your country there, where you don't even really have water, much less a major food source, and just transported them immediately into a grocery store in a produce section? They'd probably have a heart attack.
Yeah.
Look at all the bounty. Like, it's crazy.
And you never know what could happen with this world. You never know, like, if how, like, when COVID first started, there were shortages on this, shortages on that, because there's less workers, less people working at the farm, more people buying stuff just to hold it down. So learning these yard skills could be a survival tactic one day. You never know. Like, grocery stores are closed for 6 months. We gotta eat. You gotta learn how to make your own fruit.
The Eagle Scout in me kind of is excited for stuff like that. Like, I don't want the world to go down or anything, but I just want to know that I do have the skills to be prepared, so I'm not just like completely clueless.
Yep. So I did see that you did a show at like First Ave, a 7th Street entry not too long ago. Yeah. So do you that was for like a local act, I'm guessing?
Fanaka Nation.
Okay.
Yeah. That's Fanaka?
Maybe, I don't know.
He's been around for a minute, but he's still super young. Like, I think I met him when he was like, I don't know, 13 or 14 or something. Just mad talented, man. He's like a triple threat. I mean, he can break dance and do backflips off the stage and stuff. He's a rapper, singer, songwriter, actor, and he does his own production a lot of times. So I've known him for a while. He actually is on our team, on our Generation Now team, as an MC. And so we book him for stuff, we do the USA Cup, which is like the largest kids soccer tournament, and it's at the National Sports Center in Blaine. So like, he's on the mic and, just getting the kids hyped up. But then he makes just awesome music. So yeah, he just finished this album called Culture Rap. And it's he's going to do a series of this culture rap. And this one is called Afro Trap.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like I might have seen that tape, Culture. I feel like I've seen that. Might have been how I've heard of it. I might have just read that or seen that somewhere. But speaking of, like you said, kids, you teach DJing to kids too, correct? You taught a class, or you do currently teach a class, or how does that go?
Yeah. So I wrote and created a turntablist DJ curriculum, and I do private lessons for kids, but my big accomplishment, I guess, is DJing or teaching DJing to an entire elementary school. It was Ridgeview Elementary in Bloomington, my son's elementary school. So I did K through 5, every class, and it was a 2-day thing. Just left my turntables there, and the music teacher, shout out to Mrs. Drake, bomb music teacher, who'd let me do do and took a chance on it.
Yeah, they say we definitely didn't get to play no fun instruments when I was like that.
Yeah, so that's one area of my career where I definitely see in the future. I want to be teaching DJing, especially to kids. It's so much fun, so rewarding. But yeah, I wrote this. I essentially had forced myself to make this curriculum because I had this idea with the music teacher. I'm like, hey, I want to come in and teach, the basics and the fundamentals of turntable DJing to kindergartens, first grade, second grade, third, fourth, fifth. And it forced myself to finally like just write it down and get it like, day for day. Here's the program. Here's what we're going to do. And then I expanded that to my private lesson students to where within 1 year, and that's just one class a month for 1 hour. By the end of that period, they have made 2 mixes on their own. One of the mix for themselves, tracks that they like, all blended together, scratching, vocal stuff, mic work, teach all that. And then one for their parents, So like I have them on the download, like ask their parents what their favorite songs are, their favorite artists, and they come back and tell me. We make a crate, we set the cue points, we do all that stuff that you do to make a dope mix, and then the student surprises their parents with a mix for them. And then we make their own logo, and we make their first flyer, and we promote and try to book their first show within 1 year. 12 lessons.
At what age are they then?
My main
For your private class.
I mean, it is for all ages.
Yeah.
It's just I just have a focus more on kids. So
I guess like what age would have been where they're asking their parents to make them the mix? Like I guess because like the fact that cue points, all that type of stuff. Like if you're teaching them at a young age, you must be a pretty good teacher. Because I know there's no way I would have been able to figure that stuff out. Like a cue point, a crate, like what? Like how like it's like like how young are some of these kids playing sets for their parents?
Like 6th grade.
That's crazy.
Yeah, 7th grade. Yeah, so that's definitely where I see my career and where Generation Now, my company, is going. I want to have a Gen Now university. Okay. And, this could be an opportunity for my DJs, too, if they're, like, looking to get into teaching. Yeah. To, it's an opportunity for them as well. And just spread the knowledge of, like, true turntablism and, like, real DJing.
That's dope. I bet the kids making the set for their parents probably helps them believe in their dream a little bit too, because they're like, okay, I can get down with this rather than just being like some garbage music or whatever they might call it or whatever. Well,
and the idea too is to show them like, look, if you really want to make a living DJing, you're gonna have to play music you might not really like, or not really understand. So you have to start to understand it and learn these songs that work on dance floors. And like I love doing weddings. I do a lot of weddings. I've probably done 10 already this year, and it's just fun. Like it's especially now post COVID. The weddings that I've been doing have been just like special because like people haven't seen each other, like the family members, close friends, like, and you can see the happiness and euphoria on people's faces because like they weren't able to do that for over a year, and you just have that like one opportunity to like do a super bomb set, keep people dancing up until the end, and then you got everyone coming up to you at the end of the night like, that's the most fun I've ever had at a wedding, Yeah,
DJs definitely I don't even like. You should be more thankful for your DJ than you think you should be. That's how I guess the best way to put it. Because DJs really control your night when you're out. If you're having how good the event goes, or if you're having a good time, making sure everyone's having a good time. Like the DJs really got not a lot of pressure really on them, but they got to control the night. It's really the reality of it.
Yeah, definitely, man. And pay your DJs what they're worth also. And stand up for yourself. If you've been in the DJ game for a while and you're sick of the same rate, like if you don't go ask for that raise, you may never get it. Yep. And I always say puff your chest. Like if you've accomplished enough to then go to that club residency that you have, or setting your rates for DJing your own weddings, like puff your chest out and charge what you're worth. I think that's super important. It's like any other job. Like if you kill it year after year after year, you should be getting increases in pay as you go. Yep. And taking bigger events too. That's definitely some advice for other DJs. And also like if you're starting out DJing, just like I did when I started out, I took any gig that came my way. Like no matter how much I didn't think I was prepared for it, I forced myself to prepare for it, because even if it isn't, especially starting out, like a real high paying event, or it's not a dance floor, it's not exactly what you want, it's still practice. Yeah. And it's still an opportunity to meet other clients too. You could be at that gig that you're like having no fun at, but there's one person in there getting down or tapping their foot or something. Yep. They come up to you and say, hey, do you do birthday parties? Hey, I actually got this restaurant down the street, it'd be great to have a DJ. You just don't know who's going to be in your audience, So I just say take everything you can take in the beginning.
I like that advice. I tell that to a lot of artists too. They were scared, like, oh, it's probably not going to be anyone that's going to be at the show. I don't know if I want to do it. But those are like the perfect times to like work on what you want to work on. And, you don't have to worry about embarrassing yourself in front of a crowd. And it's early in your career, go meet the people that are putting this on. Yeah. You got to start somewhere. So I tell everybody. It doesn't happen overnight. Is there anything you'd like to add before we send off the podcast?
Man. Yeah, I don't know, man. This has been an honor. Like, I've been following you guys now for a couple months and love what you're doing for the city and all the elements that you guys have going on. Like, it's definitely needed. But things to add, I mean, I just want the world to be better, I want improvement. I have this sign in my studio that says progression is the lesson. Like, I just want progress. So whatever you got to do to move forward in a positive direction, do it. Because we need more positivity in this world, and we need more people striving to make things better. Whatever that is, like, for you, like, progress is huge, and improvement, you know, like, if I don't, like, reach my goals, like, I don't get super hard on myself, as long as I know I did improve and you know, put in as much effort as I possibly could to push the needle a little bit further. And then, like, never settle too. That's another, I guess, big thing for me, is like, I don't think I'm ever going to be the best of the best of the best, but I want every year to be, you know, better than the last year. And I just know that if I don't settle, I'm going to still push myself to improve and not be, you know, super egotistical and think, oh, I'm just dope, I got this, I'm just going to do what I always do. Like, no, I know that I'm not the dopest of the dopest of the dope, so to just keep improving, keep getting better, that makes me feel, you know, that makes me sleep at night. Yeah,
and I know one thing that you do that is definitely super appreciative by a lot of people out here is, like, you spin some local tracks at the games. Like how you said you spin Jake's song today, which is like,
yeah, Go.
Jake's song Go. Make sure you go check that out. It's just, like, crazy to think of, like, you know, it's just like getting your song played on the radio for the first time, like getting your song played in a stadium, like that's insane. I seen you've played, like, Mac Irv and Tay Supreme stuff as well.
Oh yeah, like, shout out Mac, shout out Tay.
And so it's just like, you know, you're helping these artists grow, like this is that's a monumental part of their career, and you can help kids reach a next level of confidence in themselves, and someone hearing their song, and you know, them posting the video of them playing it, and then someone's gonna be like, oh dang, like, he's actually going crazy, I should start supporting him now, you know, wake the people up a little bit, like, and you kind of have, like, a little bit of control over that, so that's dope that you're actually doing it, because a lot of DJs don't look out for artists, and they just they try to avoid it, but instead, like, you're open to it, so it's
definitely open. And, you know, a good segue to say, if you are an artist, you're listening to this, you're watching this, and you want to just give it a shot, shoot me an email, djmadmardigan@hotmail.com, or you can go on my website, djmadmardigan.com. There's a contact form on there. You can do that as well. Send me your tracks. Just make sure they're clean, make sure they're dope, and I'll take a listen to them, and maybe they'll get played in the arena. And then I always take videos and send them to the artist. And I took video today for Jake on that Go track. But it's a win-win, dude. Like, I'm not doing it for, like, clout or anything. I just hear a track, and I'm like, same thing with any other track. I'm like, yo, this would sound dope, like, at the Target Center.
If you're not gonna play, if it wasn't gonna be a Jake song during that 1.5 minute spin or whatever it is, it's gonna be a Lil Baby song or a Drake song. You know, it's like, it's not where it's gonna be like the crowd's gonna be like, what is this shit? But they're gonna be like, what is this? Like, damn, what is this? It's not gonna be like they're gonna be mad, you know, or anything like that. Like, I appreciate it a lot, and I think it's dope.
Definitely, man. Yeah. So send me your tracks, you guys, if you have some. I'd love to hear them, and I'm going to do a big push on my social media too, just asking for tracks, so look out for that. My Instagram's at DJ Mad Mardigan, so it'll be on there. But yeah, the season's just begun, and man, I'm ready just to get back to normal, basically.
Prepare to get flooded with emails when you start posting that, because I'm already knowing there's going to be a lot of songs coming your way.
Good, man, good. Yeah, I want to hear it. I mean, Minnesota is just, who knew, you know, like, if you're not paying attention, you should be paying attention to Minnesota music. Like,
and that's it's gonna happen. It's growing. People are starting to like each other more. It's starting to work together more. More people are starting to get noticed. People are starting to get more plays. People are starting to get a little more push here and there, going on tours. I see it happening. Slowly but surely. It just takes a couple big things to happen to really shine that light and get people to really know what the fuck's really going on here.
And it's not like we have, like, a sound per se. Yeah. You know, where you have in other markets, like, you can tell, oh, that's ATL. Oh, that's Chicago. Yeah. You know, oh, that's New York, you know, UK style drill, whatever. It's so diverse here. So that I love, man. Originality, and I was on talking on Trap Right TV last night just about the importance of originality. Like, so if you are making music, and it's just so important to just do what feels good to you musically, like, even if it's a little bit outside the box, like, people recognize originality a ton. And even if you're taking a style and just making it your own. That's still being original to me, you know. And so that's another thing that I look for in these tracks when I'm looking through them.
Make sure you submit them. Don't miss out on your possible opportunity.
Yeah.
But subscribe, like, all that. Waterwave TV, DJ Mad Mardigan. Instagrams are on the screen. Make sure you tap in with all of us. Tell your friends to come listen. Any DJ friends you got, tell them to come listen to this. Get some wisdom. We got a lot of DJ interviews that are dropping or have dropped and is dropping after this. So tap in. I got the Ray Mills interview and DJ YS interview coming soon. So
nice.
That one isn't recorded yet, so probably shouldn't speak too soon, but it's going to happen. But yeah, if you're interested in more DJ talk, we got more of it. But appreciate you for coming in. Appreciate all you viewers out there. Have a good day, night, morning, wherever you're at right now. Thank you.
Later.
No.